you all know that the classes are only for 4 days or maximum 6 days, and it's a huge portion. I'm trying to cover the important topics over here. It is just not possible to go through every single point, but at least whatever portions I cover, I want you all to understand it very well. Okay, so when we talk about micro and macro, what happened was, let me give you a little history on this so that you can understand it better. So what happened was, when we talk about Adam Smith and all, they are called actually the classical school. Okay, so when they came, they all had the idea that everything can be maintained with the help of something which they called as the invisible hand. Now, what they meant by invisible hand is that demand and supply can decide on the price. So, if you say this is a demand curve and this is a supply curve, this is where your price will be determined. Okay, so this is the concept of Adam Smith, where he said that we don't have to take much efforts, automatically everything is done in the market. Then we came to the next people who again followed the same principle, who are called as neoclassical school. And these people, in this you have Alfred Marshall, who actually, whenever we talk about microeconomics, we normally talk about Alfred Marshall. So most of the laws and philosophies and concepts have been given by Alfred Marshall. So what they said is again the same thing, that generally everything what happens is decided by the invisible hand. Means if there is more demand, naturally the price will go up. If there is more supply, the price will go down. So this was what kept happening. But after a certain period of time, we came to the condition of Great Depression. And during Great Depression, we have a very famous economist called as Keynes. And Keynes started basically the whole concept of macro economics. When we talk about the entire economy, came over there. And Keynes said that it is not possible to leave everything to demand and supply. You need some kind of supportive system. Who is the supportive system? The government is the supportive system. So whenever there is a shortfall of demand or whenever there is a shortfall of supply, it should be managed by the government. So this was the idea when we talk about the micro and macro concepts. So initially we started with micro, then over a period of time we realized that just by itself market cannot survive. To help the market out, we need to talk about the concept of demand and supply. So that is how it is actually going to work. Now, in this context, the first thing which came out is the circular flow of money. Okay, so in circular flow of money, we talk about two-sector model. Okay, so we are talking about the two-sector model of an economy. Now, why have we said that this is a closed economy? We call this as a closed economy because here you are not trading with other countries. You are not, having government interference. Nothing. You are functioning on your own. So what happens here is, if you see, the first area we have mentioned is the household. So this is a part of the circular flow. On the other side, you have the producers and the firms. So this is part 2. Okay, I hope you can all see the diagram clearly. Third part we have over here, which is called as the factor market. Okay, this is part 3. Okay, so if this is part 1, this is part 2, this is part 3, and on the other side over here you have the product market. Okay, so there are 4 areas which we study when we are talking about a two-sector economy. Now, what is happening over here is, if you see, households give you the factors of production. Okay, so all the factors of production. Quickly, can everybody write down what are the 4 factors of production in the chat box? I would like to immediately see whether you remember what we had talked about yesterday. So immediately, can you type in what are the four factors of production that we are talking about? Okay, land, labor, capital. Yeah. So we have over here land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Okay, or organization. So these are the different ones that we try to, these are the four factors of production. Now, who gives this factors of production? It is the households who will give this factor of production. Now, what they do? They will go to the factor market. What is a factor market? Factor market is a place where, if you have a land, you want to give it for rent, you will put it up. Similarly, if you want to work, you will come to the factor market and say, okay, I want to work. Now, many times this factor market is not one marketplace where you buy and sell things. But if you see, when we talk about unskilled labor, many times you'll find that this factor market exists because I don't know about your country, but in India, you'll find that early morning, if you want unskilled labor or manual labor to, for construction purposes or some general work, there will be people standing there, and producers go to them, or people go to them and say, for a day's work I am willing to pay you 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, and these laborers will say, okay, we will work from 9 to 4 and you have to pay us 500 rupees. So this is basically when we talk about a labor market. Okay, so that is all which is coming to the factor market. Similarly, if you've got money and you want to loan it to someone, so what will you do? You will do it through the factor market. So all these resources come to the factor market. So if you see over here, this is called as the real flow. Real flow means when you are giving your factor services for production purposes. Now what happens from the factor market? Who's going to buy these factors of production? The firms. Okay, so if there is a land which is there for selling or for renting, who's going to buy it? The firm or the producers will buy it. Okay, and what will they do on this land and with the labor and with the capital and with the enterprise? They will utilize it to make goods and services. So that's why this area, this internal area that we see, this whole area over here, so you can see it at this area going from here to here and going from here to here, it is called as real flow. Okay, this is called as real flow. That means actually resources are flowing from the household to the firms. What are the firms doing? Firms are using these resources to make different products. So they are making maybe goods and services they are producing. So they might be producing a car, they might be producing furniture, they might be producing food, vegetables, anything. Your chips and packaged foods and anything. So you have people who are producing hundreds of different kind of things using this. Now from this firm, they are not coming to your house to sell it. Where do they sell it? They sell it in a market which is called as product market. And this product market is maybe the super bazaars that you're going to, or the farmers market that you go to. So through these markets, they are selling the good. Now, who is buying this good? The consumers are buying this good. So it is called as a circular flow of income, that from households, they sell the factors of production which comes to the factor market. From the factor market, the producers will buy the different factors of production and use it to produce goods and services. So here the firms are producing goods and services, and this is being given to the product market. From the product market, who's going to buy it? The households. So this is called as real flow of income. On the other hand side, we come to money flow. Now what happens is, if you give your house on rent, you are getting money. So what is it? It's a factor payment. So it is a money payment. So that is called as the money flow. So if you see, the money flow is coming from the producers to the households. Similarly, when the firms are producing goods and services and the households are buying, this money is going from the households back to the firms. Is it clear to everybody? So money flow happens in the reverse direction. For example, here you are saying I'm giving factors of production, and in turn we are getting money. Here I'm giving goods and services, and what am I getting? I'm getting income. Okay, so that is called as the circular flow in a two sector economy. Is this clear to everybody? Is this clear to everybody? Yeah, can I get any kind of response from all of you so that I know you followed till here? Okay. So I go to the next thing, which is called as the three sector economy. So in two sector economy, what did we say? We have households and we have firms. Now in the three sector economy, you have household, you have firm, but you also have government. So as I told you here, now we have come to a macro model. Okay, the moment we start talking about the government, we come to a macro model. What is the government doing? The government is trying to manage any kind of problems which might arise in the economy. So now you see, earlier it was that there were goods and services and income which was going to households, and from here it was labor and factors of production which was going to the firms. But now what is happening? Now you have to pay taxes. So the government starts charging you taxes. So whatever you are consuming, for that you have to pay taxes. So from the government you are getting services, you are getting a different kind of benefits, but in return you have to pay different kind of taxes. Okay, so this is how your thing is going on. So that is how the circular flow of income happens when we are talking about three sector economy. Okay, so make a note. Two sector economy is between households and businesses, or households and firms. Three sector economy is between households, businesses, and government. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Is everybody clear on this? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just giving you 1 minute. If you just want to draw it, you can just draw it simplistically. You can just draw it as household, business, and government.
Government.
So this is how it goes, and from here it will go here, and here it will go here. So you have got goods and flow of goods and services, and money transfer going on between all the three. And here also in government, you have services and income being flow over there. Yeah, some people have raised your hand. If you have, which part? Dear? Yes, Mel. What is not clear? Can you define your question?
Yes, ma. That's the area I need to add more light is on the relationship between the two and the government. That how the government side relate with the two. That's the household and the business. That's where I need more light.
Okay.
Thank you.
So basically, see, when we are talking about this, you see, earlier it was very simple that you were taking resources from the household and you were paying them. Okay. And from the business, you were making goods and services and you were paying them. So it was very simple. Now, the moment the government comes into picture, the government starts charging taxes. So it takes taxes. That's why if you see how are the arrows, both the arrows are in this direction. So from household also, if you are earning money, you are paying income tax. From the business also, if they are working, they are paying professional tax and corporation tax. So both of these areas are ending up paying taxes to the government. And in return, the government is doing what? It is giving you different kinds of services. So if you're working with the government, then you get income. But if you're not working with the government, for example, if you are paying water tax, the government is giving you water. If you are paying electricity bills and things, the government is giving you electricity. That is how the government is providing different services. You are paying road tax, so the government is making roads. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma.
this is yeah. So this is what we talk
Yes,
about.
madam.
Yeah.
talking about a three sector economy. Now, if you see, most of the people are not only in three sector economy, but also in four sector economy. Now, what are we adding in the four sector economy? Okay, in the four sector economy, we are adding this one sector which is called financial sector, which is the banks. Then you have the government sector. These are the banks. Okay. Then you have the government sector, which I talked about. And the most important part, you have the overseas sector. That means we talk about export, import. Okay, so you are talking about international exchanges. So here you have, if you can't see clearly, I'm writing, this is the producers, this is the households. Okay, so now the area has enlarged even more. So now this is what we currently have. Okay, so if you see any country, we are in the stage of four sector economy. You all have banks, so we have a strong financial system or banking system. Here what do you have? You have savings and investments. Okay, so what does the government do? It talks about saving and investment. Okay, what does the government sector do? It provides good services, but it also takes taxes. Okay, what does the final export, import, or overseas sector? We call this as overseas sector. So what does the overseas sector do? There are imports and there are exports. Okay, so in the four sector economy, you will have household producers, then you have a strong financial system, that is through your banking system. After that, you have the government system. In the government system, you have the government providing you with different services and also taking payments from you in terms of different taxes, in terms of different money things which are required to run the government. And the last sector which you are adding in the four sector economy is the global economy. That means you are doing trade with all over the world with different economies. Okay, I'm just giving you 1 minute. You can just make a note of this. Okay, so you have the saving and investment happening from the banking system. You have taxes and services happening from the government sector, and then you have imports and exports which are happening for international trade or overseas sector. Okay, so in the four sector economy, now we have added overseas sector. Okay, I'm giving you 1 minute. You all can just draw this. Writing two sector economy, what is there? Hurry up, write down. Two sector economy, what is there? What is there in the two sector economy? Two main parts. Please just write in the chat.
It's just it's just household and the business.
Yeah.
and producers.
Firms and producers and households. Okay, so household and businesses, two sector. Three sector, please immediately write what is there in the three sector economy. Yes, household and
The
firm is two sector.
household, the business, and the
Government.
government.
Yeah, so add government will become three sector economy. And what do you add for the four sector economy? What do we add for the four sector
Financial
economy?
system.
We add overseas sector in the overseas sector in the four sector economy. Okay. Many times this banking system is also added in the two sector economy. Please make a note of that.
Say this again.
Yeah.
Say this.
Yes, I said is
Hmm.
Baca mesa baca na kan na boleh.
Kada mesana kuna.
okay. So what do you find over here? You find that this is the four sector economy. So hopefully this is clear. See, this is a very important question. So you must understand how your economy works. Jafar, you have written financial system, but till this point, no, till this point, this is generally taken as two sector. Okay, so many times the banking system is also included in two sector. Then over till here where we have the government, this is your three sector, and this is your core sector where you add in the last area of the exports. So like this it is divided. So I hope it is clear that sometimes the banking system is also included in two sector. I know I told you it is household and producers, but because saving and investment within the economy also comes there, that's why we many times will include that also in the two sector economy. Okay, I'll go forward, otherwise I'll not finish the portions which I'm supposed to today. So I go to the next thing. Now the yeah, this was the last. Okay, so now we come to a very important topic again. The key concepts of different things I'll deal with. So the next area which is there in your course is economic growth and development. Many people use the term growth and development together, and they try to say that it means the same thing. Actually, growth and development are two different terms, they do not mean the same thing. Whenever we talk about economic growth, we are only talking about national income. Okay, how much is the income of the country will tell you what is the economic growth of the country. So it is a very narrow indicator. Now suppose you say in your country the national income is going up by 10%. What would we feel? We would feel that income is going up by 10%. That means people must be doing very well. There must be so much of schools and so much of everything else. So there must be huge amount of development going on. But many times we find, and I can refer to studies in India which tell you that your income is going up, but unemployment is increasing. Income is going up, education is going down. Income is going down, up, but some people are becoming richer and nothing is happening to the others. So what happens is, in economic development many times we cannot understand how the country is doing. It is just a value, and it just tells you that the income has increased. I'll just give you a very small, easy example. Now, suppose the income of five people is one, two, three, four, five. Okay. Now I say the income of the others remains one, two, three, four, but the last person starts earning 100 rupees. So I will say, oh, national income has gone up. But what has happened? Has the change taken place? No. Only this one person has become richer. So you cannot take economic growth as a very strong indicator of a country doing well. Now, what happens in development is, we are talking about economic growth. We will study national income, but along with that, we want to see whether everything in the country has changed or not. So, has there been an increase in living standards? Have people got more money? Are they able to do better in life? So, that we are going to study through increase in living standards. Then increase in educational standards. Are there more schools? Do you have more teachers? How many people are there in higher education? Is the literacy rate now lower than before? Okay, is the sex ratio better than before? Is life expectancy better than before? Is the healthcare facilities, do you have more hospitals, more nurses, more people working for you? So you'll find that all these things, infrastructure has improved. Earlier you hardly had roads in rural areas. Now you've got such good roads in rural areas. So it means that your infrastructure has also gone up. diversification of economy. Earlier we were only making few things. Now we have started producing so many different kind of things. That means that there is economic development. So if you see, a more comprehensive measure of anything is economic development. Economic growth is important to know. We have to know whether the income is increasing, but economic development is what we look into in today's date. Is it clear to everybody the difference between growth and development? Okay. Why am I getting so? I want more people to respond with at least a thumbs up. Okay. Just 1-2 responses are coming. Can I see everybody? There are some 50 people here. Can I see everybody responding? Yeah, that's better. Thank you so much. Okay. So I come to the next thing. Now, under growth and these are very interesting. Okay, so I will be dealing with some very interesting theories now. So the first theory that we talk about is called as purchasing power parity theory. Okay, and it talks about the economic growth and development of a country. So what we mean is, suppose in India you can buy they talk about, I just explained the concept that suppose you can buy one burger for rupees 10. Okay, and in your country, suppose you can buy one burger for maybe what should I say, $100. Okay, so what will I say is, which this is much more expensive than my country, correct? So you'll find that if you're taking any country, there you want to see what is the price of the good over there and what is the price of the good in another country. So that way we can match up with each other and find out what is the amount of money which we are spending on a certain good. Okay, so this is a very important thing. So normally what we take is a basket of commodities. So all the essential commodities, suppose you say, I want to take one bread, I want to take 6 eggs, I want to take one butter, I want to take 1 kg of potatoes, and I want to take 1 kg of sugar. Now all this together is a basket of commodities. So I want to see if the price in my country in 2000 of these commodities put together was 1000 rupees. How much am I paying now? So earlier it was only 1000 rupees. Now I'm paying 5000 rupees. What has happened to my currency? The value of my currency has gone down. Because earlier what I could buy for 1000 rupees, now for the same things I am paying 5000 rupees. And a little later down, I will also talk about the inflation conditions. So you'll find that it happens very differently. Let me give you a better example over here. So when we talk about basket of currencies, basket of commodities, it means number of goods taken together. So suppose I say that in India, you buy something which is costing you rupees 1000. Okay, and in US it's costing you $50. So here you will say the purchasing power parity is $1 is equal to 20 rupees. Is it clear? So that is the difference. $1, the rate of exchange that I have decided is rupees 20. Okay, so basically purchasing power parity brings about a comparison, how living standards are in one country as compared to another country, how expensive is one country as compared to the other country. Okay, the second theory that we have is called as Harrod-Dommer model of economic growth. Okay, the second thing that we are going to talk about is the Harrod-Dommer model of economic growth. Now, whenever we talk about this model, it talks about saving and investment. Okay, it basically talks about saving and investment. So there are two things which we study over here. If you see over here, we have made a diagram, but I'll come to that later. So there are two things when we say that growth rate of an economy will have two ratios that you take. First is saving income ratio. This is given by saving upon income. Okay, so the first ratio is saving upon income, and the second is called as capital output ratio, and this is the amount of capital to produce 1 unit of output, given as delta K upon delta Y, where we say K is what? K is capital and Y is income. So we say investment upon change in income. So Y, remember, is always for income. Okay, we don't use I for income, we write Y for income. S is for saving, I is for investment. Okay, and K is for capital. Okay, is it clear to you? So growth rate of an economy is studied through two different ratios. The first is the saving income ratio. How much money are you saving? So if you've got 100 rupees, out of 100 rupees you are saving 50 rupees. So 50 by 100 will be your saving ratio. So if you've got 100 rupees and you're saving 50 rupees, so you say this ratio will come out to be 50 upon 100. Similarly, now if you say what is the change in capital, it is 50 rupees, and change in income is also 50 rupees. So again, your investment will come out to be 50 rupees. Okay, so the saving ratio and the income ratio are very important to determine the growth rate of the country. Now, for the growth rate, he said there are three kinds of growth rates which are important. The first is the natural growth rate. Natural growth rate is the natural resources that you have. Okay, so this talks about natural resources that you have, means how much of coal do you have, how much of mineral resources do you have, how much of land resources do you have. So growth which takes place with the help of natural resources will come under natural growth rates. So if you're exhausting all your resources, you're just cutting down all the forest and everything, then you will definitely be in a problem. So you would not want to do that at all. The second is actual growth rate. Now, what is actual growth rate? It is in terms of saving and investment. So how saving and investment is taking place will tell you about the actual growth rate. So it's a very important thing to know that in the economy, when people start saving more, people start investing more, that means the economy is doing well. Okay, so if there is no saving, that means it is a poor country. Okay, so if you are only earning maybe 50 rupees, and 50 rupees is only enough to buy one bread, naturally you are not able to save. No, you are going to spend that money completely. So your saving should be much, and in an educated country, in a good country, you'll see this saving will go into investment. So you want to invest more and more. Okay, you will want to invest in shares, in debentures, in mutual funds. You want your money to grow. That shows that your economy is doing well. Okay, and third is warranted growth rate. That is, what do you want or what do you desire? So it is the full potential of the economy. So if I use all my resources and in the most productive manner, I get the best out of everything, best out of the people, best out of material, best out of everything, and the desired growth rate. Like, I feel that currently all people are not employed, currently a lot of resources are not being used, but if I use every single resource, then what is my output going to be? So I'll find that that is my warranted rate of growth. That tells me that, oh, if everything in the economy is going to be used, then I will achieve a 10% rate of growth. Currently I'm not able to utilize all my resources, so the growth rate is only maybe 6% or 5%. Okay, is it clear? So we say that if there is saving, if your saving increases, your investment will increase. If your increases, your stocks will increase, and that will lead to higher economic growth. Again, if there is higher economic growth, it will again lead to more saving, more investment, more capital stock. So it is a circular flow. It is an upwards spiral. It is an upward circular flow which will lead to the growth in an economy, and more things will progress. Okay, is everybody clear till this point? Are you all clear till this point? I find very little response today, and please make me little happy by giving me responses. Yes. Okay, fine. So I go to the next one. The next one is, I think all of us would have heard about it, because it's a very important concept: vicious circle of poverty. Okay, sometimes what happens is we continuously keep going round and round and round, and we are not able to break the flow. It is very difficult for us to break this circle. What happens in a less developed economy, or even many times less developed country, or developing country, we have low income. Okay, why do we have low income? Is because the country is not utilizing its resources, or it doesn't know what to do. So what happens when there is low income? Naturally, if you are earning less amount of money, your saving is going to be less. If you are earning more amount of money, more savings will be there. So what is happening? Because the income is low, the saving is low. Now, when saving is low, naturally you are not able to invest more. So your investments will also be low. Okay. So low income will lead to low savings, will lead to low investment. When there is low investment, there is low formation of capital. You are not able to invest, and your money is not growing. You are not getting more returns. So when you are not getting returns, you are also not motivated to do much. So there is low productivity. You think, I'm working so much, I'm not getting anything. What is the point of putting in so much effort? So productivity will be low. And because productivity is low, what will happen? Again, you are earning less. So people will say, oh, you're not doing any work, why should I pay you? So it is a circle which is going round and round. You say, I'm getting so little income, so I'm not able to save. I'm not able to save means I'm not able to invest. I'm not able to invest means I cannot go into capital formation. I cannot form capital, so I don't know, feel like working. My productivity is low. Then if your work and productivity is low, again income is low. So it is very difficult for countries to break this. It is not easy that, oh, let's just increase income for everybody, then we will come out of it. How will you increase income in a country? Will you just print new notes? No. Because if you're just printing new notes, the value of the currency which is there in your country is going to go down. So that is not a good thing to do. So you will be stuck in the circle round and round and round and round for a very long period of time. And that is what happens when we are talking about developing economies and less developed economies. So this is the main problem that we face. So even the government does not know how to help out, or what changes to get to come out of this vicious circle of poverty. So this is a very harmful thing. And here you'll find that even if we try very much, we are not able to achieve much, because the circle is round and round and round. Okay, so that is why it is called as the vicious circle of poverty. In the previous slide, I told you that we have this positive circle. This is a very positive circle because it is taking you up and up. Okay, so this is a positive circle. Here, their investment is increasing, capital stock is increasing, economic growth is better, and again, saving is increasing, productivity is better. So you are getting everything positive. And when we talk about a vicious circle of poverty, here everything is going negative. So it is not working in our favor. Okay, so this is generally the second important theory which we talk about. Okay, Now, the third theory after this is that, okay, suppose we say that now the government wants to make an effort. Okay, what do you think the government should do over here? Can you write in the chat? I want to have some your ideas also on this. So, if you want to break this circle, what should the government do? Yes? Can you please write in the chat? I will read out. Yeah. Increase income. Okay. So, Ibrahim, how do we increase? Okay, increase jobs, increase income. But to increase income and increase jobs, what do we need to do? Savings, okay, subsidies. Yeah. What else? Others? There are 50 people. Can I have some more people writing? Yeah. Increase in exports. Okay. The government should try to use the full potential of the country towards investment, correct? Motivation and awareness. Government should provide social services, increase investments, decrease imports, correct? Foreign investment. So you come out with a lot of points over here. So what was said is the next theory that I come to. And this is called as the theory of big push. And what they said in this theory is that small, tiny steps is not going to help you. Okay, so suppose you say that, okay, this year the government says little bit I will increase the income by 1%. That is not going to make a difference. So what you need to do is you need to give a big push. So bit by bit investment is not going to help you break the vicious cycle of poverty. So yes, what you have written, increase more investment. Government needs to act like businessmen. This is what we need to do. So we are not going to talk about small investment. We need to talk about major, large investment. So if you see, he has given the example of an aeroplane. Now, if you see, whenever the aeroplane needs to fly, it keeps on the track at a very low speed for quite some time. Then it stops, and after that, the whole pressure is put and full force it needs to go to take it up. If you keep going at that slow speed, do you think the plane will be able to fly? Can we have the plane flying if we keep maintaining a slow rate? Yes or no?
No.
No, it is not possible. So what do we need? We need that full force or full pressure at a certain point of time to take it up. Okay, that is what the concept of big push is. So they said that you need to put in the big push in what areas? In three areas. First, the big push should be in production function. Second, big push should be in the area of demand, and third big push should be in the area of saving. So what do we mean by the big push in the area of production? We say inputs, outputs, processes, capital equipment, whatever you have, you just try to make it the best possible. So you heavily invest in good resources. You get the best of people, you get the best of machines, you get the best amount of money possible, so that what happens is you just push it so hard that your economy takes off. Okay, so the main concept is that the economy should take off. Okay, so once it takes off, then he said then the economy will find it easy to maintain itself. So it will not be in so much of a problem. It will be able to manage and do well on its own. So that was the concept of theory of big push. So three kinds of indivisibilities were mentioned here. In the production function, you have people, when we talk about infrastructure. So you could give the best of infrastructure, best roads, best transport, best electricity, best water, best raw materials, best machines, everything the best. Naturally, if you have the best, you are able to produce the best. So you are able to increase your productivity. So that way you are able to manage better. Then in demand case, we say that you should not be dependent on external demand. So people only should be there to fulfill each other's demand. So there should be so much if people have money in the market, they should be able to spend as much as they want. So that way, the demand in the economy will increase. And the third is that indivisibility of savings. So you see that savings are very huge. You motivate people to save more. If they are motivated to save more, there will be more investments, there will be growth in capital stock, there will be more capital formation, and this capital will be reinvested into business, and this business will keep on growing. So you find that growth will happen if we are able to do better business. Okay. Now, after this, the next theory you have is called as Rostow's stages of growth. Okay, these are all very important theories, and it is important to understand, because there are many more theories also which are mentioned. So I'm not dealing with all those theories. I'm just trying to deal with some of the key theories which we have. Just give me 1 second. Sorry. So the next thing we talk about is Rostow stages of growth. Now, under Rostow stages of growth, the first one is a traditional society, a primitive society where nothing is happening. And you call this society basically agrarian in nature. What is an agrarian society, anyone? Anybody? What do you say is a
I think
primitive?
it's a society. I think it's a society that
Yes.
depends on agriculture.
Very good. Excellent answer. Thank you so much, Kelvin. So it is a society which is agriculture based. So any traditional economy will always be agriculture based, because if we study development, we find that people have worked in agriculture only. Food comes first. Okay, you can't think of manufacturing and other things if you don't have food. So first priority of any economy will always be food. So you have an agrarian economy which will talk about food. So here you're not using much technology, you are using primitive methods of agriculture. So that is how your economy is going to work. Uh, is there some problem? Because some people are continuously coming in and out. So I don't know. Okay. So that is a agrarian committee. Then what happens? Slowly you start with little bit of manufacturing and other things, and you come to the condition for precondition for takeoff. Here also you're not taking off. Your economy is not growing that much, but at least you will start with the manufacturing sector. So in this economy, you are starting with the manufacturing sector, where we talk about preconditions for takeoff. So now your economy is gearing up to match whatever is required. So you are coming to the condition of taking off. You want to go ahead and you want to bring about development in the economy. So this is the second condition where we talk about takeoff. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Then the next is takeoff. That means now your manufacture is good. You have food sufficiency. So you are able to produce enough food. Now your manufacturing is also developing. So you come to the stage where you talk about development. Please note, I'm talking about development. So not only is the manufacturing sector developed, along with manufacturing, other things like education, healthcare, infrastructure, all start becoming better. So manufacturing is not enough by itself. The moment you start manufacturing, you will have different things which are required. So you need good infrastructure for manufacturing to take place. So that is what you are going to look into. Then after that, you come to development of wider industrial commercial base. So now you'll try to go to the tertiary sector. So you will try to develop banking system, tourism system, all the kinds of yeah. Can some of you name some of the tertiary sectors? Let me see all the areas that you can name under tertiary sector. Can you all name some of the tertiary sectors? Can you put it in the chat if possible? So you have basically three sectors of an economy. The first is agriculture, the second is industry, which is your manufacturing, and the third is the tertiary sector. So yes, correct. Tourism is one of the tertiary sectors. So basically, tertiary sectors is the service sector. Now, can you give me examples? Services. So the service sector of your economy will be the tertiary sector. Any other examples that you can think of tertiary sector? Any sector which is not doing manufacturing will come under tertiary sector. Some more examples, please. I just got one example. So can some people more tell me what all will come in the tertiary sector?
Banking sector.
Banking sector. Any other things? What about education?
Telecommunication.
Excellent. So now I'm getting insurance, transportation, educational institutions, telecommunication, internet, security, health, healthcare, call centers. Excellent. So it's so nice when you all are responding and giving me the perfect answers. So it's very nice. So all these things will come under the tertiary sector. So the moment your economy comes into relying on tertiary sector more than agriculture, people are moving from agriculture to manufacturing and to tertiary sector. See, we do not want everybody to move from agriculture, because then what will we eat? So we want people to be there in agriculture sector, but the people who are unemployed or over more than required people are working in agriculture, they are shifting to manufacturing, they are shifting to tertiary sector. Is very, very good for an economy. So the moment you start talking about tertiary sector, you will see that the health of the economy has gone up. You have become good. Your country is becoming good. You are earning more. You are saving more. You are producing more. The productivity is high. Investment is high. Capital formation is high. Everything goes up the moment your tertiary sector also comes into play. Then naturally, now when all the sectors are developed, what happens? You come to the stage of high mass consumption. What is high mass consumption? It means now you've got enough money, so you can afford to buy the best things. You are no longer scared, oh, how should I buy and go another shirt? I don't have money. Can I buy a car? No, I can't afford a car. Can I buy a house? No, I don't have a house. This doesn't happen. When we're talking about high mass consumption, means people are confident on their economy. They have enough money, they have enough resources, so they want to go and buy the best which is available in the market. They want to invest more, they want to spend more, they want to enjoy life more, they will go on vacations everywhere. So that is the stage where we talk about high mass consumption. That means your economy has become a developed economy. Is it clear? So it is the process of underdeveloped country to a developed economy. Okay, so that is what is explained through Rostow's stages of growth. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I know a lot of concepts, but I hope you are all able to understand. Later you can revise it through when you are studying for your exams also. I think the explanation will be useful to all of you. Okay. Now we come to another very important thing. I'm not going to deal with this so much in detail. I'll just deal with this very much in short, because there are 2-3 more things which I need to cover in today's class. So what is the national income? National income is generally the total monetary value of all services and goods that are produced by a nation during the period of time. So in a period of 1 year, all the goods and services which are produced within the economy will be taken as the national income. So it is the sum of all the factor income. What do you mean by factor income? All the factors of production, whatever money they are getting. For example, land is getting you rent. Similarly, labor is getting you wages. Capital is getting you interest. Okay, enterprise is getting you profits. So all this, if I add in, I will get national income. So this is one way of seeing national income. We will come to different ways of estimating national income. So we just take everything which is being produced, everything which people are earning, everything people are spending. So different ways are there of estimating the national income in a country. So basically, when we come to methods, there are three methods: value added method, income method, and final expenditure method. These are three important methods of calculating the national income of any country. Now, the first method that we talk about is when we talk about expenditure method. Now, expenditure method means what? The spending. So through how much money everybody is spending, we will find out what is the income which is happening in the country. It's a very interesting way of finding out. See, if you are earning 100 rupees, naturally you can only spend 100 rupees. You can't go and spend 500 rupees. So one way of finding how much you are earning is to find out how much money you have spent. So that is the first method that we take into consideration, called as GDP or expenditure method. Now, in this method, first we will take the government spending, consumption. So first is consumption, where we are saying what the people are spending. Like, you are going to the market, you are buying vegetables, you are buying fruits, you are buying clothes, you are buying things to decorate your house, you are buying a car, you are buying a house, you are getting so many things. That is consumption expenditure. So this is the first sector where we talk about consumption expenditure. The second sector of the economy is the government. So what is the government spending? You'll find every government also spends a lot of things. They have so many offices. Naturally, they require furniture, they require stationery. For the government officials, they need cars. So they are buying petrol, they are buying cars, they are paying for electricity charges. They also have a lot of expenditure which they are doing. So that will come under government spending. Then we talk about investment spending and change in value of stocks. So what is all the things, all the savings which are there, which you are investing? So how much of investments have happened in different areas? That is what we are going to take. And the last is exports and imports. So exports means what I am earning, and imports means what I'm giving to the other people. So always it is written as exports minus imports. Okay, this is taken as net exports. Means, I'll write it here. Net exports. It means what is the amount which I am giving to others, and what is the amount that I've got from others. So suppose I have bought things worth 1,000 rupees, and I have sold things worth 800 rupees. That means what I've earned from imports is only minus 200. Means I am in a loss because I bought more things from other countries and I have only managed to sell very less things to them. So this is the expenditure method. Then the second method is called as the income method. This is the income method. So in income method, what do you take is income which is there from all the factors of production. Like I just told you, rent, wages, interest, and profits. But along with this, now some people are not working in any sector. What are they doing? They are doing their own work. There's, for example, if you have a startup, okay, what is a startup? You're doing your own work, okay, or you're doing just mix some kind of job. You're not working in a company. So those are taken as self-employment areas. Yeah. So this is your self-employment. That means wages and salaries that you're getting, or from anywhere you are working, little money you are getting. So that will be taken as self-employment. So all the income, when we add together, we will get our national income. And third is very interesting, which is called as value added. Let me explain value added. For example, now one person is making ready-made shirts. Okay. Now for ready-made shirts, he has to get cotton. Okay. So there's a farmer who is producing cotton. So this farmer is selling cotton for $100. From him, there is a person who buys this cotton and he makes cloth. Okay. So he's bought this for 100 rupees over here. Okay. And then he has made this cloth which is costing 150 rupees. Now this person, the producer or you, have bought this for 150 rupees. Then again, what you're doing, out of 150 rupees, you are again selling this for 300 rupees. Now, what is it that I should total? Should I total, if you see income method, now how much the farmer has earned? 100 rupees. How much the cloth merchant has earned? 150 rupees. How much the producer has earned? 300 rupees. So what is the national income? 0, 5, 550. Is this correct? Will this be correct? Will this be correct? Tell me. Is this a correct
Yes.
estimation of national income? Yeah? Can I see any response? Yes, no?
Maybe Ma, you should come again.
I said, now when I want to see income, I told you we add the income of all the people. So I said the farmer is earning 100 rupees. How much is the cloth merchant earning? 150 rupees because he's selling thing for 150. How much is the producer earning? 300 rupees because he has made ready-made shirts. So I said that if you're just adding income, you are adding, this is the farmer's income, this is the cloth merchant's income, and this is the producer's income, okay, who's making ready-made shirts. So if you just add this, it is coming to 550 rupees. So from income method, we might say this is the income. Now what has happened is, see, the farmer had 100 rupees over here. Now this was bought by the cloth merchant. What did he do? He made cloth and he sold it for 150 rupees. How much value did he add over here? How much value added? 50 rupees, correct? Okay, so he did work worth 50 rupees. Okay, 100 rupees is what the farmer had already done. So what did the cloth merchant do? He made something worth 50 rupees. Now from here, this producer bought this for 150 rupees. Okay, so that 150 we have already added, farmer plus cloth merchant. How much more did the producer earn? Yes, correct. Madhavan, correct. So how much more did the producer earn? Can you tell me?
Madam, I think the producer earned 150. That is 100,
Yes,
300 minus 150 is
150.
only
So what should be the income now? The farmer got 100 rupees. How much did the cloth merchant make?
is also 150.
No, because out of that 100, we have already taken an estimation of. So what is left?
Is it the
This
50?
50. And what did the producer of the ready-made garments make? 150 is already accounted for. So he made another
Yes.
150. So
He
what
made
is the
another
total
150.
national income here?
200. That is 50 plus 150.
300. Okay, 5, 5, 10 and 300. Okay, so you see the difference. Here we are double, double, double. We are adding everything double every time. But here we have only taken value added. So what is the value added from the farmer to the cloth merchant? Only 50 rupees. What was the value added from the cloth merchant to the producer? 150 rupees. So we are just adding the value added, and that is why now the income that we are getting is 300. Here we have double counted everything. That's why the income is shown as 550 rupees. Is it clear? Is it
Yes,
clear?
madam. It's clear. Very
Yes,
clear.
ma'am. It's okay.
Okay, okay. So that now I hope you understood all the three methods. So these are the three methods of estimating national income. Okay. Now we come to the next point. I don't need to go here. Yeah. So next we come to another topic, which is inflation. I'll just be covering a little bit more after that. Yeah. So till this point, everybody's clear? Just give me 1 minute. I'll just drink some water and I'll continue. Yeah. Any questions? You can write it there. I'll answer.
No question.
Oh,
We still we just only have comments because
yes.
we know what mean inflation. Inflation means the rising of prices in the market.
Yes, correct. So I will not go into inflation. I know all of us know it. I will just talk about the different things of inflation which you need to learn. So the first thing that you talk about is this formula. Now this formula is the formula where we are using. So we all know that inflation is when the prices are rapidly increasing. Okay. So that is not an area I want to touch on. What I want to touch on is the rate of inflation, how it is calculated. So when we calculate the rate of interest, we are taking the consumer price index. CPI is the consumer price index. Okay, what does it mean? That if something was costing 100 rupees and it has become 120 rupees, that means there's a 20% rise in the prices. So that is how we calculate the inflation formula. And this is very important because it tells you how the value of your currency has gone down or gone up. Okay, so this is a very important formula to remember whenever we are calculating inflation. Okay. The next is the reason for inflation. So there are two reasons why we talk about inflation. These are all economic terms. So the first is called as cost push inflation. So cost push inflation is when the prices are pushed up because the cost of production has gone up. That means the raw materials have become more expensive, labor has become more expensive, loans for your project have become more expensive. Then we call it as cost push inflation. The second is demand pull inflation. That means people now have money. As I told you in rostro stages, that you come to mass consumption. More people have more money and they have so much money they want to spend it. So they want to demand more and more things in the market. So what will happen? The inflationary pressures will be more and inflation rates will go up. So that is called as demand pull inflation. So there are two types of inflation that we talk about, or two reasons why inflation take place. You have cost push inflation and you have demand pull inflation. Okay, I'm just dealing with the general terms. I'm not going into very much details here because I know you all know about all these points. Now when we talk about types of inflation, there are different types of inflation. First is called as the creeping inflation. Creeping inflation means when inflation is increasing at a very slow rate. That means there is 1 or 2% or 3%, less than 5% inflation in an economy. Now, this kind of inflation is considered okay. Yeah. I'll just go back to the slide, Usman. Just give me 2 minutes. Sir. Let me just finish this, then I will do. So when we talk about creeping inflation, it means the inflation is moving at a very, very slow pace. And we say that this is good for an economy. Generally, we try to say that inflation is not good for an economy, but that is not true. Mild inflation is good for the economy because producers feel, oh, the prices are rising, I will get more money, I will earn more profits. So they would like to produce more, sell more. So a small creeping inflation is generally good for the economy. So you can say it is maybe 1 to 3% of inflation. The second we say is moderate inflation. Now, moderate is when we talk about less than 10%. So here also your economy, people start realizing that things are becoming expensive, but still we are okay with this kind of inflation because okay, little bit changes are taking place, and I am also earning more, so I am spending more, and the prices are also going up. So moderate inflation also people are not very concerned about. But the third stage, the moment you reach the third stage of inflation, you start getting worried, and that is called as galloping inflation. Okay. Now, galloping inflation is when you go into more than 10%. Okay. Or you talk about double digit inflation. This is the stage where you talk about galloping inflation. Now, here it is very worrisome because now prices are really increasing, and you can't afford to buy things. So you will start getting worried. Oh God, now how do I manage my house? Everything is becoming so expensive. So even if you're earning more, still you are not able to manage because prices are increasing so much. So galloping inflation becomes a point where you start becoming scared. And fourth is the case which you definitely don't want your economy to go into. So fourth is taken as super inflation. What is super inflation? It is when your rate of inflation is so high that you might be earning a very huge amount of money, but you cannot afford to buy anything. Okay, it is so high, it is so expensive that you can't manage to buy anything. So what happens over here is like they give the example of Germany. So in Germany they said that initially at one point of time the inflation rates were so high that they said you have to take a truck full of money to buy one loaf of bread. So you wanted to buy one bread, you needed a truckload of money. That is how expensive things had become. So nobody could afford to buy. Even if they were earning money, they could not buy anything. It was so difficult to buy goods. So that is a condition nowadays no economy wants to go into. Even galloping inflation is something that you don't want to do. So till the time you are in creeping and moderate inflation, it is okay for the economy. So I'm just going back to the slide because somebody wanted to write the formula. Okay. So any question? I can see one hand. Manuel, anything you want to say? I can see your hand up. That's why.
Yes, teacher. About the first type of inflation, I didn't get you well. Could you repeat, please?
Okay. I'll just repeat. The first type of inflation is called as creeping inflation. That is what you're asking, no? Types of inflation. Yes, Manuel, are you asking me types of inflation or causes of inflation?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So it is called as creeping inflation, moderate inflation, then we have galloping inflation, and we have super inflation. These are the four types of inflation which we talk about. Okay. Next, we come to what is the impact of inflation. So the first major impact is different people. Some people are very happy with inflation. For example, a producer will be very happy with inflation because now he's able to sell his goods for a higher price. What about salaried people? What do you think is going to be going to happen for salaried people? Is inflation good for them or bad for them?
Is bad.
It is bad
I don't know. It's bad.
because
Very, very bad.
Very, very bad, because their money is not changing. So where if the inflation is increasing, they're still getting the same amount of money. So inflation is very harmful for people who are getting regular income. uh, what happens to borrowers? Can you tell me what will happen in case of borrowers? Anyone? Can you write down in the chat? Who will gain? Will the lenders gain or will the borrowers gain?
Madam, the borrowers will gain.
No, ma, it's the lender. It's the lender, ma.
No, the borrowers, because as the borrowers, the amount you borrow is the same amount that you repay.
Okay. So what happens is, you're correct that the borrowers are going to gain and the lenders are going to lose. So what I say is, suppose today, suppose in 2000, you have taken year 2000, you have taken $10,000 dollars from somewhere. Okay. Now, with this $10,000, you could buy a lot of things, but in 2010, this person has returned this $10,000 to you. Okay. Now, what has happened is, because there was 10% rate of inflation, what you can buy with this $10,000 has gone down. Okay. As a lender, you have lost money, because unless your rate of interest that you're charging is greater than 10%. Okay. Suppose I have lent money at 10% rate of interest, and inflation is 10%. That means I have not lost money or I have not gained money. But suppose inflation is 15%, then naturally I have lost money. Is it clear? I'll explain again. Suppose you took a loan of 1,000 rupees. At that time, the rate of interest which a person charged was 10%. Now, inflation has become 10%. So, what happens is, at the end of that 1 year, you have not gained also, you have not lost also, because the inflation and what you charged as interest has become same. Now, what second case I'm saying, suppose you are charging 10% and inflation has become 15%. Naturally, you have lost as a lender, because now you are not able to buy anything with that 1,000 rupees which you could buy last year. So, if the rate of interest is lesser than the rate of inflation, then you will lose. Is it clear? Not necessarily. There's a
Yes,
question
it's
whether
clear.
it should not increase with inflation. No, many times the rate of inflation increases much faster than the banking system actually changing the rate of interest. So many times it does not happen that the rate of interest will change. So whenever you are investing anything, this is what you need to keep on mind, that your investment should give you more returns than the rate of interest. Okay, that is a very, very important thing and important principle. That's why you'll find that people do not want to save much in banks, they want to invest in mutual funds, because if the rate of interest inflation in your economy is 10% and mutual fund is giving you 15%, you're gaining 5% on your money. So this is a very, very important thing to keep in mind. Okay, I hope that is clear. Yeah. So next we come to next point, that is, how do we control this inflation? To control inflation, we normally use two very important methods. One is your monetary policy, and the second is your fiscal. So under monetary policy, we will have something as the bank rate. So what we are going to do is, if people are just borrowing more amount of money, I will increase the rate of interest. Okay, so it is called as increase the bank rate. So when it becomes more expensive, people will not want to take loans. So then the money supply and the money will come down, and naturally the demand for goods will go down. The second is that you will not issue new currency. So you will stop printing more notes, and you will not want to spend take out more currency. So that is the second thing that you are going to do. In fiscal policy, you will say you will increase taxes. So if earlier people were paying 20% tax, now because of inflation, you will ask them for 30% tax, 40% tax. Yes, Nelson, you've raised your hand. Anything, any question? Yeah, are loans not given on variable interest? Yes, many times it is given, but I'm not talking about variable interest. What I'm saying is that it is not necessary that inflation and rate of interest will follow each other. Okay, in an economy, your inflation goes very differently than the rate of interest. So rate of interest is determined by the banking system. It is not determined according to the inflationary condition. Okay, if it was according to inflation, then we will all be happy, we'll not have to bother. But we need to bother because rate of interest is determined by the banking system, and it will not increase as your rate of interest increases. So generally there is a problem. Okay. So here, when we talk about fiscal policy, we say we are going to increase taxes. So when we increase taxes, money with people will decrease. If money with people decreases, they will demand less things in the market, and naturally the prices will come down. Okay. As I said, too much money chasing too few goods. So if you can decrease the amount of money with people, then automatically the inflation rates can be decreased. Okay. Then other methods will be to increase production. So what you try to do is you try to increase productivity, try to produce more goods. So if demand is increasing and you can increase your production accordingly, then naturally you will gain by that kind of production. Okay. So these are some of the methods which are used to control inflation. Now, there are 2 or 3 small topics which I will finish in the next 15 odd minutes. And after that, we will finish with today's class. So this will complete quite a bit of your portion for the first half. And then we'll go on to the next half in tomorrow's class. Yeah, Nelson, anything else? Any other question? Any other question at this point? Please tell me, I will answer them.
Yes, madam. There's
Yes,
question.
Yes, please tell me.
Madam, my name is Aliu. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
And we are currently experiencing a hyper inflation. And most of this method, especially like the monetary policy that you made mention, our government, they have tried them. That is the credit control, issue of new currency, the monetization. They have all tried them. But all of them, they are not effective. They are not working. Is it that theory is quite different from practical? That's the question that I want to throw at you, madam.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, very nice question. So what happens is, yes, really very good question. So what happens is, these are the standard methods which are there, which we will be using. So every government tries to keep changing the method. So see, suddenly if you have a bank rate which is 10% or 20%, and you decrease it to 2%, will you like it as a person? You will not want to. As a citizen of that country, you will start objecting that why the government is not able to manage. So we don't want to lose our money, we don't want to pay more tax, but we want the government to control inflation. We want to buy more things, but we don't want inflation. Okay, so what happens if the government does not listen to you, and tomorrow's date the government decides that it is going to charge 50% taxes? So if you're earning 100 rupees, the government is going to take 50 rupees away from you. Are you okay with that?
Yes, madam, I'm kind of okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what happens is, see, if we do this, next time you will not vote for this government, correct? No. So the government also has to be very careful on how much of different measures can it impose. So it
Right.
will try to do little here and there, because ultimately they also want to remain in power. So they cannot take very drastic steps. So they just try a little bit, and they will keep convincing you, see, we are doing this, see, we are doing that. So generally, it is not that if these methods are very effective, okay, but you have to take drastic measures, which no government
Okay.
actually wants to take. So they will take moderate measures. So whenever they are taking moderate measures, the results is also moderate or below moderate. It will
Yeah.
not give you the
Thank you
result.
very much. Thank you
Okay.
very much, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we come to another very important thing. This is ethics. And ethics is, how are you running the business? What is the philosophy behind running the business that you have? I can see one more hand up. I'll just come to you. Let me just finish this. I'll come back to you. Okay. Now, in business ethics, we say it is basically the moral principles and policies and values. When I started with business environment, I told you that the moral policies are very important, because they tell you what the basically the system on which any industry works. Okay, so you'll find that it's not business ethics as such. We talk about ethics in finance, ethics in marketing, ethics in customer service, everything. Now, suppose a person tells you that he's selling a cream, and he says that, your skin will start glowing and you'll start looking like one film star, and you're convincing people and it's not happening. Then where are the business ethics? You are not transparent, you're not trying to tell people the truth. Okay, you are trying to sell a product, trying to show that it is the best product in the world, but when the product is actually coming to you, you find that the product does not have any quality, and the firm says, no, we will not take the product back, you have to keep it. Is it an ethical business? Naturally it is not. Okay, so business ethics for good or bigger businesses is very important. So you can see that in ethics we have said there should be trust. The customer's trust should not be broken. Behavior, you should have correct behavior with the person. You cannot be rude, you cannot be mean, you cannot just lie to another person who is either working inside your firm or working outside your firm. Both sides, you should not be lying to the person. He is investing his trust in you, he's giving money to you, he's supporting you. So you should be fair when you are talking about a thing. So it's not that I want to sell my goods, and anyways, however possible, I will sell my goods. No, you have to be correct in what you're saying. For example, suppose you are selling something which is cheap, so you can say, see, I cannot guarantee best quality here because the price is low. So naturally, the quality of the product can't be like superior standard. Okay, so I'll say it is an average quality product because I'm charging lower prices. So here I'm transparent and I'm telling the truth. So if somebody is buying from me, that person is not expecting that he's paying a small amount of money and he's getting the best of goods. So we are saying that if you want to buy a thing which is going to last you some 50 years, you invest more and buy. I am selling a thing which will be enough for now. And there are many countries which work on this philosophy. In electronics and different goods, you'll find different countries have this approach. Like some countries will sell a lot of things, but we all know that it will not be lasting quality. But when we are buying expensive goods from some other places, we know that they are lasting goods. They will give you a guarantee of 7 years, 10 years, and say that you come back to us. So these companies that we are talking about, if you go back to them, they will say, yes, sir, we will replace it. You all know that some companies will be like that, that any defect with this thing, I will take it back and I will give you a new piece. So it can be an Apple iPhone, which says that, sir, if there's any problem, I will replace it. Okay. Some places will say we will replace it, but when you go to them, they will say, oh, sorry, this is not what we said. See, you have broken this, so I can't do this. You have done this, I can't do that. What is happening? The element of trust is broken. You are not taking responsibility. So whenever we talk about business ethics, we talk about better relationships. We talk about making correct choices. We talk about being reliable. You should be able to depend on me. Anytime I'm calling you and I need help for customer service, I should have a person who's willing to come and help me. Then only the company is following business ethics. If it is not doing this, that means the company is not following the ethical methods of production. Okay. So the second thing that we have in this is corporate governance. Now, what we mean by corporate governance is to follow these business ethics, we will have certain rules and regulations, and many of these rules and regulations, like for example, ISO standards are there, and according to SDG goals, certain requirements are there. Then World Development Index is there. So there are many international agencies which will tell you that this is permissible, this is not permissible. So corporate governance means following the rules and regulations which have been given by all these different authorities from all over the world. So all these people, when they come to you and they tell you that what you need to do and what you don't need to do, that is where we talk about corporate governance. Okay. So here, if you see, it is involvement. Who is sitting and forming this? You'll find there is a board of directors. There is a legal framework. So you will think about the legal framework which is accepted all over the world, which is accepted only in India. Then you have organizational hierarchy, which I've talked about, that this is the head, then under him there are two people, under him there are four people or three people, here under him there are four people, etc. So that is the hierarchy that we are talking about. Then you have monitoring. You, even if you have a principle, you have to keep cross checking whether that principle is being actually followed or not. Are people actually looking into it? Are people actually doing what is required? Transparency is the most important thing. Whenever you are doing something, so many people in the world follow double accounting system, one for the government, one to show to others, and one for themselves. So they are not transparent, because what they are showing to the government is different records, and what they are doing themselves is a different record. So they are not being honest in their transactions. Okay, they are not accountable. So if you go back, as I said, that if something happens and you go back to them, they will say, sorry, I can't do anything about it. So they are not accountable. Okay. Policies and procedures, the details of what has to be followed, how things have to be done, if it is written clearly. Many companies, they, even for salaries and promotions, they don't have any policy. So if somebody they like, they will pay more. If somebody they don't like, they will pay less. If they want to promote somebody, they will promote somebody, give one excuse and promote the person. If they don't like somebody, they will not want to promote the person. So many companies all over the world even do not have a clear salary and promotion policy. If you cross check, you'll find so many countries which, if you join at the same post also, they will be paying different amount to different people. They will not even pay the same salary to everyone. So that is how different people are working. So we say that here there is no transparency. The policy and the methods which are used are not correct. Okay, so that is what we talk about corporate governance. So in corporate social responsibility, this is the third important term, corporate social responsibility. It's a very simple thing. We talk about gratitude. What do you mean by gratitude? What you get, you should be grateful for that, and you should be willing to give it back to the society or give it back to the others. You should not harm others. So that is when we talk about corporate social responsibility. So we talk about how we can help others when we are earning a huge amount of profits and we are doing very well. What are we giving back to society? That is what we talk about as corporate social responsibility. So many of the organizations normally take up one important area, and this important area they want to work on. So some person in an organization might say, oh, I want to talk about education, so I will with the money, extra money that I have, for example, if I'm getting 100 rupee profit, 10 rupees out of this 100 rupees I will spend on education. So I will create new schools, I will get teachers, my employees will go and teach in these schools on holidays, and these children we will get them to our college, our workplace, and if they study well, then we will give them jobs. So what am I doing is I am trying to bring about betterment in a sector. Many organizations actually don't work only on one sector, they try to improve on a number of sectors. So I might work on education, along with that I might be running some old age homes, I might also be doing some activities to save the environment. So I might be doing different things to bring about betterment in the society. So that is where we talk about corporate social responsibility. Okay, then we come to this is the last part, another 5 minutes I'll take and I'll finish off for today. So how do you do the CSR program? First and foremost, very important, because we are continuously talking about environment, we talk about a company's carbon footprint. You know, if I'm importing something, even if I'm importing food from another country, you should see the amount of carbon footprint that I'm increasing. That is coming from another country, it is coming through ship, it is coming through air. How much of carbon footprint have I increased? So we have to consciously work towards decreasing carbon footprint. Then what do? You go to local food banks, you distribute food. Like during COVID, you'll find that so many companies had come forward, even individuals who were earning well, film stars and others, at least in India, I know that, they went out of their way to provide food for all the people who were stranded in different places, who did not have work. So they would put these stalls where they would feed whoever would come. So a lot of these kind of food banks are there. Many places, many organizations will have these food chains where they will give food either at zero cost or charge maybe very limited money and just give food to everybody. Then local charity. So local charitable organizations are there, like you have people who are staying in old age homes, children who are orphans, then you have people who are suffering from different disabilities or diseases like cancer and HIV positive, etc. So you have these kind of things. Then you also have local schools and daycare center where people can work, nursing homes and military also. So in India, we find that many people actually don't do so much for the military. That is generally looked after by the government. But many other countries actually do a lot for the military people, especially if somebody has lost a limb or been harmed, been shot down, or the family needs to be taken care of. A lot of people will do all this as charitable things. Then, of course, you can also talk about education. You can also talk about environment. Okay, you can also talk about healthcare. So all these things will be there, free eye operations being done for people. So a lot of these things are done when we talk about corporate social responsibility. And corporate social responsibility is what makes an institution get credibility. So everybody knows, oh, that company does so much for society, is doing so much for people. So naturally the customer loyalty or the way we start looking into that company changes. Like in India, we have Tatas. So Tatas, everybody knows the culture which is there for Tatas. We have Infosys. So Infosys, again, everybody knows how much they do for the society. So whenever we talk about these companies, we are so positive about them. So that's the importance of having um, a good CSR program. The next is we talk about the social environment which is there. Now, in the social environment, we will have to keep into mind. I have talked about it before. That's why I'll not spend much time over here. Another 2 minutes. So we talk about the attitudes and beliefs. Please be very careful about this whenever we want to work anywhere. For example, in a particular country, it might seem okay. I'm telling you, in a city in India, it is okay when you meet a person, you give the person a hug, okay, and but when you go to a rural village, you definitely cannot do that with any of the villages, okay. They will not entertain you going and hugging a lady in that village. So there the people will definitely become very defensive. So attitudes and beliefs are very, very important, what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. Then demographic things like what is the ratio of men and women, how are women treated in different areas. Religious factors are very important. Every religion should be respected and should be treated at par. So it is not that your religion is not good, mine is good. We treat everybody at par. We should give equal respect to all the religions. Languages, everybody has in India, all of us on an average know at least 5 or 6 languages, and most of us write 5 or 6 languages fluently. That is a culture of India. So for example, for me, I know how to speak French also, I know English also, Hindi also, I know my mother tongue, which is Bengali also, and I know another language, Punjabi, which is there. So generally in India, you know a lot of languages. So that is also very important, treating with importance a language, local language of a place. Okay. Of course, social organization, how it is working, the education that a person has, the family structure is again very important. What kind of family do you have? Is it a joint family? Is it a nuclear family? According to that, also, you will have to talk about the culture of a certain place. The last is when we talk about the political environment. Now, all of us know that, we all want to speak about how a government is doing well, is corrupt, not corrupt, what is the legal environment, is the Supreme Court of the country doing well, listening to you or not. So you'll find a lot of problems happening here, which you have to be very, very careful about if you are in business. You cannot make the government go against you. You cannot have the government not agreeing to what is being done. So this is again another sector which we need to be very careful about. Okay, so I hope that is clear. That completes the first part of your course. I will continue with the next part of the course in the next class. Okay, so I hope you are clear with whatever we have covered in today's class. Is it clear? Okay. So
Yes, very clear, very, very clear, madam.
thank you. Thank you so much. This is what, as educators or as teachers, we look for. That if you all are happy and you can understand what we are teaching, that is all that we require from you. Okay, and I hope you all do very well. So tomorrow's class, I will continue further with the course. Thank you all, and I will see you all tomorrow. Please be there on time because I will start exactly at 7.
Thank you, madam. Take care. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
madam.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, madam.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.